Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. We thank you so much for following all our work and all our productions. And I warmly welcome you to this week's edition of One-on-One with Michael Jordan. It could be actually the very first ever since we had the presidential and general elections 2026, where we welcome you back wherever you participated, and let us hope that your voices were heard because your voice is heard through your vote. Now, we start the discussions this year, of course, with the elections. It is still the newsworthy topic to talk about in our country. We must take assessments of how we held it and look at where we are going. We'll start with the party that took the National Resistance Movement. Their candidate for president was declared winner on the 17th of January by the chairperson, Electoral Commission Justice Simon Byabakama. So we want to know, how did they do it? This time round, they beat with a bigger margin than usual. They have taken MP seats from areas where we thought the opposition had taken over. What was the magic, and what kind of plan do they come in with this new Chisanja, or term as we normally call it? We're not talking to anyone else but their Secretary General, whom we would say was part of the engine, or if not the engine itself, to move whatever operations were to see the party in the lead. Join me, welcome the Right Honorable Richard Todwong, the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement.
Thank you and good evening, viewers.
How is everything? Congratulations on the victory as a party.
Well, we are grateful, and I congratulate Ugandans, I congratulate the NRM party and all our supporters, well-wishers for this victory. It has been something we anticipated. And
you knew you were to win?
Definitely. If you are organized and you are well-planned, you know the outcome. So we knew we were going to win. Yes, because we did not have any competitor anyway.
You did not have any competitors?
Those were not competitors. They were just, you know, they are, when they tell you water hyacinth, not lake flies rather, they inconvenience, but they're not harmful. So these competitors we had were not people who are really, because one, they did not know what they wanted, they didn't know how to communicate, they were not speaking what Ugandans were expecting of a presidential campaign. So they were off the cuff, and they were concentrating on speaking against the president, but for us we were concentrating on speaking about things that Ugandans want to hear about. And that was the difference. And so we realized we didn't have any match.
That's how you took advantage of the situation?
Well, we had to explain ourselves to the people. And that was how the vote came.
What was the niche of this time's campaign that saw you get 7 million votes?
I am a student of Museveni. If you listen to the president, if you follow what he says, you will never go wrong in anything. For the many years I have worked with him, everything he speaks about comes to pass. That is one thing I have confirmed, and I can assure you, whatever he says and whatever he tells you to do, will actually, the outcome will be exactly what you anticipate. When he was speaking about mobilizers, how to mobilize, to him he says, what are the substance of mobilization? What are you taking to the people? What solution do you have for the people? Are you just going to be shouting, hoye, hoye, or you are going with a tangible solution to the people's problems? Politics is all about human needs. And what are these needs? Security, health, education, water, roads, anything about humanity is what politics should address. So if politics does not attend to those things, then that is not politics. So you speak about freedom, you speak about rights, you speak about education, about health, about security of properties and individuals. You speak about security of the country, freedom of movement, freedom of worship. Everything is about human beings. You see, God in his way created human being in a very special way. That we are different from other creation according to the Bible, because the souls we have, these are souls that made as God's intent.
In his image.
In his image. And therefore, this human being has needs. Everything we do is to address those needs. And these are collective needs that a manifesto of a party should summarize. that the needs of people in Karamoja, the needs of people in Kisoro, the needs of people in Bunyoro, in Busoga, in Teso, should rhyme and be focused in a manifesto of a political organization. And therefore, when I realized the stages through which Uganda moved, from how the president has always been very charismatic in presenting this to the Ugandans, from the pre-colonial stage, the colonial era, the post-colonial times, the economy that NRM inherited, the enclave economy. You have spoken about all this, and then the stages in which we improved the enclave and we expanded through diversification. We brought in new areas of diversity and value addition. All those stages the president speaks about speaks to the history of an event, a history of economic progress of Uganda. And then you see it has been building step by step over the years that our GDP has been increasing, our population has been increasing, our literacy level has been increasing, our quality of life has been increasing, and it speaks to the journey Uganda has traveled with him as a leader, because he has the vision. Now, when we were coming for this election, if I may move fast forward, every election is different from the other. The election of 2026 was different from the election of 2021, different from that of 2016, because in an election, there are about four things. There is the candidate, there are the issues, and then there are the environment within which the campaigns are conducted, and how the organization that drives the campaign operates. These are four very... So if you get a wrong candidate, your messages are wrong, your structure of campaigns are wrong, definitely you expect wrong results. Okay. Now, we were lucky that our candidate was demanded for by the party members. To me, when I realized that party members were asking for President Museveni to offer himself, I knew that was already victory. Because he did not come to say, I want to contest. The people themselves say, we want you to contest, meaning the people were ready to campaign for him. Two, he had a very good message. Believe me, you have spoken about this. Every rally you go for, you'll hear how coherent the president's messages are. From peace and stability of the country, development issues, to household poverty initiatives, to regional market integration, issues of education, issues of health, how we can work to improve households. He did not speak against any candidate. He did not speak about anybody. He spoke about issues. That was to me, that was a plus to a candidate. And he kept his time, that he was mixing the message with the videos that he was showing, practical examples, that this is what we intend all households to be like. Get money from these social programs of government, PDM, Emioga, Youth Fund, Women Fund, blah, blah, blah. Do something for yourself. We are building for you roads, but these roads are not to transport gossips. These roads are not only for drunkards to work on. These roads are to move products from point A to point B.
From your garden to the market.
That is the message. And this was a message being given by somebody people trust. You see, trust is another thing in a leader. Your track record as a leader. The president has been with Uganda from the early 60s up to now. So there are things we all know about him, that he's a promise keeper, he's very strict, he does not compromise the security of this country, and we all know that. And when it comes to peace and stability and security of Uganda, including those in opposition, we're saying, at least for that, we have to credit President Museveni. For that, because we cannot see any other candidate keeping Uganda peaceful the way Museveni has kept Uganda peaceful up to now. Then the third one is the organization that carries the two.
Yes.
Under my leadership as a Secretary General, my intention has been always to strengthen the party structure, because we were looking for ways of how our messages can reach the grassroots. And we have a structure which has been dormant for a long time. We have leaders from the villages, we have leaders from parishes, we have leaders from sub-counties, we have leaders in town councils, divisions, and municipalities, we have leaders at district level. Yes. These are leaders that were elected by our party members. So the best infrastructure to deliver the message to the grassroots was this leadership that we have elected. Now, I am grateful that the party, including the president, accepted that the campaign should be housed within the structure of the party. And with the 72,000 villages in Uganda, where we have 30 elected leaders per village, with about 10,700 something parishes in Uganda, and we have about 30 elected leaders in all those parishes, with the sub-counties about 2,000 plus.
That is an instant trick of the message.
You multiply those numbers, we have 2.5 million leaders elected. These are leaders of the party. Then we have flag bearers that we elected. Flag bearers are different from these leaders.
Yes.
Now you add the layers of those flag bearers. So in total, we had already a base of close to 4 million elected leaders of the party. Now these 4 million, we were just challenging each of them, go and look for one or two other person in addition to your vote. And make sure you are in the National Electoral Commission register.
Yes.
Make sure your wife is, your son is, somebody in your family is, and on the voting day, go as a family and vote. That was how we got the vote. Our projection was we were expecting to get about 13 million votes, but we scored the 7.89 million. Because
Around 4 million.
because there were quite a number of spoiled ballot papers, and then very many did not turn up to vote. So at the moment, we are now doing a review to know why did most of our people did not come to vote. Because when we registered party members, we registered 20 million members. Of the 20 million, 18.5 were people above 18. That means they qualify to vote. Now, we were now moving to know of the 18.5 million that we have as voters above 18, how many are registered with the National Electoral Commission. We realized we had 14.6 million. And we say, fine, now we have what we can start from. And that was how we built our capacity to push this election.
You said the campaign now was business for the party structures.
Yes.
From the Central Executive Committee to
the village
chairman.
Yes.
And their leadership. How did you get this vision, and what explanation was there to take this shift?
It was until this time that we decided to concentrate on the structure of the party. The previous campaigns, the national chairman and the party leadership would appoint a presidential task force, different from the party structures. And therefore, you start bringing unnecessary competition and rivalism between the structure and the new team you have created. So the structure would fold their hands, say, okay, if there is a new team created, let them look for the votes. For us, we are not useful. And so it was bringing a bit of dissatisfaction in the party, and bringing a bit of withdrawal from elected leaders of the party. So you find a national campaign task force team teamwork going to a district where they don't understand. They are supposed to work with the local team, but the local team don't feel comfortable working with them because they have been undermined. And so our results were always affected. When we realized that, I decided to say, no, let's advise the party, we use the party structure fully. First, let us do an audit to confirm that we have this structure. So when we did the register first, to know the number we have, we took the party through election of the structure. We got to know that all the villages we have elected leaders and all the structures are there. We now say, let us run this campaign through the structures. And that is how the results were delivered to this level.
That's why we saw SEC members almost at every rally.
Yes, every SEC member was in charge of his zone, especially the regional vice chairpersons.
Yes.
Then the league chairpersons were moving with the president everywhere. And then the first national vice and the second national vice. So the campaign was designed and was so smooth, it was running so well, including the logistics. The flow of the logistics was also smooth, that now that we are running through the district and the structure, party accounts were used to send party money for campaigns to the districts. The districts were receiving T-shirts. Every branch was coordinated direct from the center. And it became very easy for us to coordinate everything to the ground. That you can now know if a district X has a problem, you can identify where the problem has come from.
Which one of the two would we say is more costly or expensive? When you took the party structures and the times where you would have a task force?
The party structure is a little costly but more effective. Because here you are making every district as a unit, campaign unit, and therefore you have to deal with all of them. Whereas the national task force would have about 15 to 20 people, they divide themselves into zones, and still they would run through the party structure. Actually, that would be like an additional layer of expense. But nevertheless, to us, it's about mobilization of the manpower that we needed to do the work. And who was the best at mobilizing this manpower that we needed to do the work? It was the party structure. The executives of the district, they communicate to the sub-county executives. The sub-counties communicate to the parishes to the villages. The communication flow and channel was very clear, and everybody was busy. And it brought inter-district competition. I'm sure you might have realized that every district wanted to have the best rally for the president. Definitely. Because every leader wanted to know that he's the best at this game. And this internal competition brought us the results we wanted.
The president, yes, was drumming household incomes, commercial agriculture, all that as usual, because these are things that he wishes, his wish for Ugandans. This is what he was drumming. What is the practicability going to be like? Do we expect a big bang of the PDM and those programs come 2031, 2026, 2031?
When the president is laboring to speak about household income, the president is aware that a poor household is a potential risk to the security and stability of the nation.
Community or the whole nation.
Because the definition of peace and security has been expanded to not only restrict into the armed conflicts, but to social issues. If a household has no food, if a household has no clothing, a household is not educated, a household there is a potential risk for instability. If the urban population are poor, it is a potential peace. So everything must be resolved so that peace and stability of the country is enhanced. And that is why the president was laboring to speak about social programs, that every household should have money to do something busy. When people are busy into production, they will have what to protect. When someone has nothing to protect, he doesn't care whether he burns down his country or not, because he has nothing.
Definitely.
So when someone has something, believe me, if we
have to protect the country,
he would want a peaceful country because he has some goats to protect, he has some chicken to protect, he has an acre of coffee to protect, he has a banana plantation to protect. Therefore, I wouldn't want something that will danger my base, economic base. So it is about, it speaks volume about, do we speak economy before politics, or do we speak politics before economy? And the president is saying, speak economy before politics, because the economic force drives the political direction that we need as a country.
Was the manifesto this time a generation of the secretariat, the structures, or the candidate himself?
No, I've been in the center of all this once again, if I may tell you. In the 2020-2021 election, I was part of the team that drafted that manifesto.
Yes.
Our manifestos for the long time has had the history of Uganda, as I spoke about. What was Uganda before colonization? What was the nature of our society? We live through barter trade, we live through exchanges, tinsmith, all that kind of stuff. When colonial governments came and we were colonized, the nature of our economy and interaction changed, which were geared towards the model that was brought by colonization. After that, when the colonialists left, we got independence. After independence, there were a new form of administration. And when the president speaks about the enclave economy that were left, because they were promoting specific products, coffee, cotton, the 3 C's and the 3 T's. The rest were not taken care of. But under the leadership of President Museveni, we have diversified the economy. That in the event of the nuclear, the enclave economy that were left by the colonialists, we now have other products that have become commercial. Because in the past, even when we were in school, we spoke about commercial cash crops. We speak about tobacco, tea, cotton, and those are the things we knew. But now under NRM, we have realized that cereals are also commercial, can be produced. Milk
Can have a market.
can have a market, international market. Soya beans. So we have diversified, and we have, because of that diversification, many farmers have come into the money economy because many other products have become commercial products. That is the nature of changes we have seen economically.
Is it the task force still that denied you the numbers that you got this time? Is it the structures that enabled you to even win back some of those that you had lost, especially in the Buganda region? What explains the success in the area of members of parliament?
For example, if I may speak a little about Buganda, we say persistence breaks resistance. When you keep persisting, that breaks resistance. And I think the Buganda people understand NRM more than anybody else, because they are the reason NRM fought and succeeded. They were part of the fighting. Now, nobody can dissuade them from NRM. But I think there were other inconveniences that came in between. That yes, the veterans were complaining, there were issues of land grabbing here and there, but those are social issues that are expected. You are in the center of the country, you are a capital city, everybody has interest in the capital city, and it brings pressure on land, on social services, like we have talked
And every other resource.
every other resources. And this, of course, makes other people uncomfortable. The market relations between what we say those who have come from other regions and settled in Buganda and the natives in Buganda brings in that social friction. And this is not only confined to NRM. Any leader would go through these experiences. The settlement pattern that has been in Buganda now, when you see Kampala expanding into Mukono, Wakiso, Mpiji, soon Mpiji will connect with the Masaka. Soon Mpiji will connect with the Luwero. Mukono now we are one with Kampala. It's connecting to Buikwe, to Jinja. That conurbation that we see, it is because capital has been, the center has attracted private capital. It has put pressure on the key factor of production, which is land. 60% of our GDP is produced from the center here. And because of this, job seekers move from other parts of the country to come and settle here. And that is how you start seeing slums developing and all that. The urban poor are increasing because of search for opportunities that people have. Now, this is a program that we are now going to focus at as NRM. How do we fight urban poverty? How do we decongest the center to allow industrial parks in other parts of the country? How do we streamline the land conflicts? How do we protect our locals from unnecessary land evictions? So these are things that any government should think through, not only NRM.
Because this time you have over 30 MPs in Buganda.
So when we started explaining that, they started understanding. Because you see, unfortunately, my brothers in the other political parties, they think it's just normal to say everything you're facing is about NRM. Oh, you're in slums because of NRM. You're poor because of NRM. But they don't understand the detail of these things. So we are helping them. We are educating them actually to say that is not how leaders should speak.
But of course, it's the government that has to plan.
You see, government plans together with the government plans with the people, but sporadic settlement is not planned by government. Government does not plan for people to come and just settle anywhere in these areas. When government is saying, let us bring industrial parks to your zones, the government is thinking of decongesting this and making sure that you don't move from your area. Keep in your area, factories will find you there. When government is saying, let there be free education, because we say you need skills, you need information, everybody should be informed. Now, the market should expand and move and grow at the same rate of population growth, of literacy level. Because if the market expansion is narrow and slow, the demand is higher, then you have a situation of a jobless expansion of the economy. And that is what we want to reduce, so that The economy should expand systematically with the demand and the creation of jobs.
The opposition says your candidate had the 2 campaign trails. They say the PDM tour was a campaign trail. This one was just an addition.
Our candidate was both the president and a presidential candidate. So as a president, there is always a midterm review of government programs, which you have to do because you have to account to the voters the next time you go to vote. So indeed, he was moving around to check the performance of government policies that were there. He was moving to check PDM, he was moving to check UPE, he was moving to check the roads. We send money for road to district, local governments. We have given them equipment, and every year, financial year, we send money for maintaining community roads. Part of the visit the president went for is to check these local governments, how are they performing. And at the sub-regional meeting, every unit of a local government is supposed to write a report on how they've been performing. And so that was an assessment tour, which anybody should do anyway in leadership.
Let's take a short break.
Do you hear it? Do you see it?
In Uganda, Tanzania.
That's the sound of business in a developing economy.
For UBC News,
Charlotte Amuge in Kampala.
Catch the weekly business roundup every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. only on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC One-on-One, thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. We are taking a recount of the 2026 general elections and we are starting it with the NRM, and we have their Secretary General having been the winners, that is the Right Honorable Richard Todwong, and we continue with the discussion. Right Honorable, welcome back from the break.
Thank you.
Many people have accused you of having tapped your hand as a party into the pot of the elections. People question how you got the 7 million. Much as there's a section that says, much as they may have won, 7 million is too much, is an exaggeration. Much as they may have won, then there are those who say you did not win. What is your view? Did you win the election as the
Of course, anybody is free to speak whatever they speak. But for us, we speak from facts.
Actually, the opposition parties started their questions at the Tally Center after the first release of...
They are questioning late. That is already a late question. They should have questioned how NRM is doing its things. And they were just watching us. We were doing registration of our members, they were watching. We are going for internal party structure election, they were watching. If I may ask you, all these political parties that we have, call whatever they are, how many can sponsor candidates at sub-county level? Let's stop at sub-county, leave alone villages. How many villages in Uganda do they have leaders in? How many sub-counties in Uganda do they have leaders in? How many parishes do they have leaders in? They have leaders, they start at district level in some areas, not even all the districts. All these political parties combined cannot even sponsor candidates all over the country. They cannot. But NRM can. That should be the beginning for them to understand the weight of NRM. Two, we like I told you earlier on, Ugandans are 45.9 million. Of the 45.9 million, if a ruling party cannot have even like about a half of this population, then you're not serious. So when we went for registration, we got 20 million people who are members of the NRM. These are from age of 16 and above.
Last time I was telling you how people question that.
Yes, let me tell you. It's from 16.
How they question that if the Electoral Commission has 21 million voters, how can the NRM have
I'm telling you, membership in the party starts at 16 and above. So when we remove those below 18 who qualifies to vote, we remain with 18.5 million who are supposed to be voters. Those are above 18. And of that, we confirm that 14.6 are the actual members we have in the National Electoral Commission voter system. So if you are to compare the 23 million voters now with the Electoral Commission, with the update of the register, with our 14.6, then you can see how many of the voters registered with the Electoral Commission are members of NRM. More than a half. Now, the voter turnout always, for every election, is between 50, 51, 53%. We have never gone to 60%. Now, if we can get a half of the voter turnout, these are mathematics. People should understand these are calculated
There are
issues.
questions about you, Victor.
They are questioning what they don't know. They are asking wrong questions. Yes, we know. Even the case is very shallow. They don't even know what they're asking for. If the party has structures up to the villages, do you doubt such a party of winning national election? If the party has leaders from village to national level, would you doubt such a party? Maybe if we do not have structures, we don't have leaders like them, they can doubt. I think they thought we were like them. We are not like them. Our members are more expanded than theirs. We are in every area of leadership. We elect. People compete to be flag bearers of LC1 in NRM. We already have our flag bearers for LC1, by the way.
The unprecedented disqualification and argument of MPs at the level of parliamentary elections. How some MPs came and opposed in an unprecedented way.
Let me speak to them as...
What is the real story within the party?
Let me speak to them as somebody who has been in this for a long time.
Yes.
If you don't prepare early enough, you start panicking and you get things wrongly done. For every MP to be elected, the first must have the minimum qualification, senior 6.
Yes.
Must have the number of signatures that are required for nomination. And these signatures must be by voters in a particular constituency who would have signed themselves your form. Many of these that have been disqualified, they will go to a voter register and pick names of people, put their name number and forge their signatures. You only get to know that your signature was forged by a candidate without consulting you, and you go and withdraw your signature. It's allowed by law. And that is why many of them were disqualified. And that shows how dishonest they were. You cannot, as a candidate, fail to get signatures to nominate you. You don't forge those signatures. They are there.
Why do you think it was so common? 2026?
It is common because many of them were not prepared to what they were going in for. They were in a rush. And for them, they thought it was a normal thing. And that is why many of them were disqualified. But for us as NRM, first thing we do is to verify those documents. We make sure our party, that is why the structure is very important. The party structure cross-checks the details of all those the forms of members of parliament, LC5, councillors. They make sure everybody who has signed is an authentic person and he or she is the one who has signed.
Don't embarrass the party.
We don't embarrass the party. You don't hear that about NRM.
How do you explain other instances where candidates would get into a room and they come out and say, I, Richard Todwong, I'm giving you to Michael Jordan to continue and represent us?
My brother, today you put your name on the table in this, which constituency do you come from? Your village?
Busiro North here.
Say today you want to be an MP for Busiro constituency, North. People will start researching on you now. Who is he? Who is his father? Where did he migrate from? What is the level? Now that information that starts trickling down,
somebody keeps.
If you are not strong, they might give you things you don't know about yourself. Now, to pass that stage, to now say, okay, I have gone through the first phase of being assessed by the voters. The second stage is, do I have the necessary qualification? Am I a registered voter? Do I have national ID? Can I get people to trust me that they can sign my form as my nominees? That is the second stage. The third one is now, do I have what to communicate to the people? I am going to be a member of parliament or a candidate. Do I speak what they want to hear?
You mean some people get nominated when they don't even
They don't know.
what to
They don't know. It's just a force. There are parties that have said, you be our candidate. When someone is not aware, they have told us. That for me, I'm not bothered. They just told me to be a candidate. Me, I'm working with NRM. They have told us. We have that. Very many. And we just laugh. And that is why you must have seen that there are many people who cross from NUP to NRM, even when they are now nominated candidates. They were there.
But some of your leaders are blamed of foul play, having bought off candidates,
Well,
having forced out candidates.
That is
Others
still the same.
Others are accused of
If-
playing foul
if you are a
with
candidate-
the Electoral Commission to kick out others.
If you are a candidate who is not solid enough, who is not confident of what you're going in for, you can be bought by someone who has money. Your interest might be money. You are there. Oh yes, there are people who just want money. I am a candidate, I am in this, I don't have the conviction of being a leader, but I am available to be talked to. They tell us that I'm available to be talked to. How do I talk to you? Others even came and we have rejected, say, we don't want you. You continue with your campaign. You finish the rest. Say, I cannot finish, I want to be bought.
Some avail themselves.
Yes, they avail themselves. I can tell you this for a fact. I have been approached by candidates of parties. And I say, no, the NRM is not like that. You fail, after failing, we shall help you ideologically. Because even if I buy you now, you're not a material enough for my party. You get it? You can be a mobilizer, a supporter, a well-wisher, but still I cannot make you a candidate of my party. Because if I can buy you from party X, that means if you're in my party, if someone has more money than me tomorrow, he can even buy you. So for that matter, you just come and be a member of my party, but I cannot make you a leader in my party.
What do you make of only your party having unopposed MPs, no matter how they came? Those that are accused of foul play, those that are accused of having bought out candidates, those that are maybe got a chance and their competitors had issues. Why do you think it is only the yellow camp that had?
You see, the general direction was known that the NRM was winning the national election. And that is what they should know. That their own members realize that the presidential candidate of NRM will win the national election. And so they say, why do we waste time? After all, I'm not going to win. Why don't I join the winning team? And that is how some of them started coming to join us. So that they are part of the success. And indeed, many have joined us. In Buganda, in Kampala alone, we received about 25 converts from NUP. We are now planning to take them for orientation, ideological realignment. We need to improve on their software.
Ideological realignment.
In the rest of the country, everywhere we went, we were receiving, the president was receiving them. They were young people who were misled to be in opposition. They did not even know what they were doing in opposition.
What do you think this trend may do to our electoral processes in future? If somebody has known that, okay, I can buy with a candidate, I can find out, look for information about Todwong and see whether he has signatures and kick him out. What do you think it's going to do to our electoral process?
It will help us improve the system because if you want to have a candidate as a political party, make sure that candidate is solid, information about him or her is very authentic, so that nobody plays around easy data. But if someone is weak, he doesn't have information, he's not educated, and you're pushing to go to, he has bought academic papers from another person, definitely such a person can be challenged. It's the nature of politics. I should cross-check the person I'm campaigning against. I should make sure I disable him or her by many ways, either by campaigns, by interfering with his personal record, by encouraging him to cross to my side. It's part of the campaign anyway. There are many tricks you use. There are many options you can use.
This is normal way of...
It's normal.
A normal thing, part of the game.
It's normal. There is no rule that, there is no law that speaks against someone crossing. The only thing that we have in the law is if you are a candidate of a political party, your Secretary General must sign for you to leave being a flag bearer or a candidate. If you are going for members of parliament or LC5 chairman.
That means you must be allowed.
You must be allowed. But some of them cannot stand. They are saying, yes, they are saying by law I'm not supposed to cross, but I'm not going to campaign. I've given up. Many gave up.
Okay.
They couldn't face the force of NRM.
There was a wave in the opposition this time which saw senior men and women thrown out of parliament. Although it is not very good news to your side, they were still thrown out by the opposition themselves. What do you make of? What do you see? Where do you see a parliament without the Katuntus, without the Basariwas of this world, Semujunganda, Mpuga, Segona, those names that one would say had become household?
It speaks to a lot of things. That rhetorics cannot help you sustain a seat. These gentlemen, I know them so well.
You sound very happy.
I am happy because they're out of parliament. They were wasting time. They are my personal friends, but all of them, those ones are all of them are my personal friends. I was with them in the university. They were actually my campaign agents when I was campaigning for Guild in Makerere. It's another story I'll tell you one time. Segona, Semuju, Mwanga Shivumbi, all of them were with me in the university. were with them in Lumumba Hall.
What kind of a room?
We diverted thinking. We went wrong ways. But I feel sorry for them. But the whole thing is they concentrated in fighting President Museveni as a person, not fighting issues that affected their constituencies. You're fighting President Museveni, but he's telling the people who voted for you that I want to fight your poverty. I want to bring you more health centers. I want to make your roads better. I want to take your children to school. And so it brings a debate in the minds of the ordinary person. But this one whom you are fighting is speaking about what I want. But for you, you are fighting him.
But now this ordinary person again doesn't vote for someone in Museveni's
Yeah, but you might see the other person they have voted for. Say, for me, when you elect me, even if I'm in opposition, I'll work with the president. Like this new mayor of Kampala. He's a noob, but he's already saying, I'm going to work with NRM. Because he knows it's NRM that should deliver what you want for your people. You see, when politics becomes real on service delivery, it becomes real politics, not politics of rhetoric. You come, you abuse the president from morning to evening, and even the president says, okay, the radios I have liberalized, use it to abuse me at least for one day in a week. The other 6 days in the week, use it for something productive. Then come and abuse me another day and do something productive. They don't even listen to that. Simple advice. That this old man you are always abusing is saying this is a lost mine. Use that time to speak to your people about production, about wealth, about income. Why do you want them to be poor? Expose them to opportunities.
So you think
even if I am bad, but talk to them about things they can do for themselves.
Some people think there are so much divisions within the opposition. Some of which they blame you, the NRM, as the perpetrator.
They should never blame NRM for anything. They are falling on their own swords. It's the reason because they started.
People suspect the hand of the NRM.
They don't know why they should be in opposition. That is the reason. If you are in opposition on serious matters, then you will not see NRM as a problem. You would be solid as opposition. And that is why I'm saying we don't see any competitors. Because what are you opposing? Are you opposing our policies or you are opposing an individual? To them, they are opposing an individual. But this individual has policies that are working. The policies, yes, the policies are working.
You had a marriage with the UPC. You were working with the DP. Is this continuing 2026, 2031 with an incident in Lira City, for example? How is the NRM continuing with UPC after the incident in Lira with the revenge in the Honorable, my friend, the Honorable Opua's constituents? How are you continuing as the two brothers and sisters?
Sarcastic. You speak about marriage. In marriage, even there are some spouses who are very cantankerous. You just have to tolerate.
Are we going to see that between UPC and the NRM?
Well, we are tolerating in this for the convenience of the people of Uganda. And I need to thank President Yoweri Museveni in particular because he's a peacemaker. He's a peace builder. Under normal circumstances, we wouldn't work with some of these political parties. We agree to work with you, but you're busy abusing us, you're busy fighting us, you're busy insulting the president, you're busy. Why would we work with you? We can become proud as NRM to say we have the majority. Why do we bow low and work with someone who cannot even generate a quarter of the votes we need for Uganda? But because of compassion, we work with them.
There has been a lot of word in town. Mao will be this. Mao is going to be vice president. Mao is going to be prime minister. This time he is this. People have been baptizing him a number of titles from the day he was announced winner in that constituency. Well, is the relationship between you and DP growing? Why is the public viewing things that?
It is good that the public expects Mao to be continue working with NRM in different capacities. That is a good indicator, and we pray that he also understands that. As to what happens, we leave it to the appointing authority. We cannot speak about that, but it is good that we work together as a team. We work together as brothers and sisters. This country needs all of us. Bring our ideas together on the same table. We share and work together. We don't have time to pull away from each other. We need to work together.
The Central Executive Committee came out and announced the official flag bearers for speakership and deputy.
We had a discussion,
yes.
And the discussion is still ongoing. But
Not concluded yet.
The party leadership guided that the tradition has been that if you are a speaker and you are a deputy speaker, you serve for 2 terms. Okay. That has been the tradition that was set. And so we are trying to discuss around that tradition. And then the discussion is still going on.
Not yet concluded.
Because these members have not been sworn in, they have not yet been gazetted, and so we are waiting for the right thing, and we shall present it at the right time.
Back to the manifesto. You promised a number of things. The president was showing videos of successful farmers and business people. How are you going to realize this? Because you, the party that campaigned for him, you're the ones to answer these questions to the voters first before we go to him. How are you going to make sure that we get a realization of the president's message?
When we open up to multi-party political dispensation, the relationship between the party and government became a bit clear. But we need to bridge the gap between the party, a ruling party, and the government. Because the manifesto that a sitting government implements is a manifesto of a party that has been voted in. In this case, the people voted for NRM, and therefore the manifesto of NRM must be implemented by government. And so in the manifesto, we promise so many things, what government should do for our people. Okay. And this is how we need to follow through to make sure that these promises are implemented by government, mainly on infrastructure and on social programs that would help us fight poverty. We realize poverty is still a big issue. We need to enhance budgets for the social programs that we have been promising people. We need more money for PDM. We need to refocus on the urban poor to give them more opportunities. We need to enhance money for the young people. We need to enhance money for the women so that they keep busy in being productive. So this must be done by government. And therefore, the government that is going to be set will mirror the interests of the party that has been voted for.
What would be your comment about the electoral process that we are ending in a general outlook?
It has been a peaceful period. I am happy that the period gave us victory. But we also registered some bit of incidents of conflict, of bit of friction between security forces and electorates. Some of our members were affected in other places. In our rallies, we lost quite a number of people, few people, because our rallies were congested and other people got trouble while going back to their homes. Apart from those few incidences, the election period has been very peaceful and calm for this country.
I was interviewing somebody who said you can't say the process was peaceful when one of the contenders is on the run for his life.
He knows why he's running. I don't know why he's... When you're running, you should explain why you're running. Nobody is chasing him. He's running on his own.
The other one that would be another contender is in prison. Can you say there is...
There are reasons to all that. Don't expect people not to be in prison. Don't expect people to run, because some of these are done on personal ground. Someone is in prison, he knows what he did. The prison, there is no law, there is no country that insulates you from being in prison if you commit a crime. At whatever level, even if you're a presidential candidate, and you commit a crime, you can still be locked in. So if someone is in prison, people should bother to know why he or she is in prison. And what is the provision of the law that would lock someone in prison? The penal code is clear, the constitution is very clear. So we follow what is in the law. If someone is running, you see, in my culture we say, when you see a frog jumping, either something is chasing it or it's running after something. So we need to know why this gentleman is running.
He says the security at his home and they are after him.
Let him justify. He who alleges must prove. If they're after him, why are they after him? What has he done that warrant people to run after him? What is it that he has done? There must be something. There is no smoke without fire. So to me, some of those are not issues that we can... Of course, if you're innocent, you'll be ready to face the law and defend yourself. You clear your image, you clear your name.
Yeah.
But if you're running, to me now, it confirms maybe you're guilty of something. You know what you're doing has been detected and known. So you're running away from it. So there is a reason for everything.
What next after the election, especially as the Secretariat?
Well, we are going to take our newly elected members of parliament for a retreat to help them understand that they are no longer now ordinary people, they are members of parliament. We take them through the party constitution, we take them through the party manifesto, we take them through the policies of government, we build them and prepare them for the challenges ahead. We tell them the nature of things, why they were elected, others were not elected. So just to build them up for the task they are coming in for. And then we wait for the swearing in of our presidential election, president-elect rather. And then after that, we start the new administration.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
His name is the Right Honorable Richard Todwong, the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement. Yes, we are now no longer talking elections. Uganda after elections is what we are focusing on. And we're going to talk to all the actors in their different capacities. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Dan Lugemwa and the whole team. We wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.